but it looks like it's going to go back on the throw. Probably one of those ticky-tack travel calls, huh?
Yeah, it looks like Aiden O'Connell there on the throws. We're going to take a listen here on the decision making.
Really see that, but I mean, I would go to the observer if there's a call. Well, I mean,
I don't think they had it like.
Are you?
That is
okay. So you're calling a violation because you're saying that his foot was on the line. Okay. Now I'm going to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Is that a traditional movement in ultimate? We know there's a rule. Is that generally accepted in ultimate?
No, you can't because that's out of bounds. The line's out of bounds.
Okay.
So
you're gonna.
Himself in bounds.
well, so I caught it and,
Okay.
and stepped.
What would you like to do,
I
gentlemen?
didn't catch out of bounds.
What would you like to do?
I didn't think I needed to check it back in. Was the point?
No. He's ruling that he was ruling not that you had checked, but that you threw it like this.
Yeah, he'd have to establish himself in bounds.
Is that how we're going to play this game today?
Wait, I'm sorry. It's a violation of the rules, sir.
Okay. I'm just asking you if you want to go with that.
Yes, that is.
Okay. Foul was called. Do you want to bring it back, or you want to go to the observer? I'm sorry. It's a travel. It's a travel, sir.
Is that okay?
Do you want? What would you like to do?
I would go to the observer.
Okay. The observer ruling is technically it was a travel, and we will uphold that travel. Okay. Bring it back in. What was the stall?
Just starting.
What's your stall?
And I just love
Coming
the
in on
sideline, hearing that in the background, telling him to shoot it again, shoot it again. Let's see what he does here.
My favorite piece of that whole interaction out of Kale was the observer saying, is that the kind of game we're going to play today, gentlemen? How many games have you played in? How many games have I played in? Has anybody on this stream played in where you let the game get ticky-tack early, and that colors the entire rest of what would otherwise probably be an excellent game? I think the observer, asking them if that's the kind of mood they want to establish from the jump is honestly beautiful observer work.
Yeah. So pick was called down the field. I agree with you, Charlie. I mean, it's all about setting the tone early on, and so you see that pass is completed.
That's the very beginning of the bids that we know that we can expect from this Texas team. They're big, they're athletic. Langston Lee does not care, though. Roofs the entire pack to keep possession alive for William and Mary.
The disc center there in the middle. Let's see who's going to get that cut look. Over to Lee. Lee's going to strike up line. And back up to Riker. Let's see if he's in, and he will be in. Count it. 3-1, William Mary Merriman.
Atakali, I'm going to use this moment. As we get a look at the replay, we watch the patient offense as Greenberg moves back to Langston Lee, waits for a look that he likes, dumps it off, gets it right back, and finds Riker right inside of that end zone. Something that they told me, they're very much an all-gas, no-brakes approach. They also very much believe in utilizing their top players, utilizing all of their players effectively. That means riding with that hot hand. That means, hey, we know who our leaders are as we get a look at the stat line for Lucas Reichert. 2 goals, 1 assist, 1 block. Stat sheet already full. That would be a lot of players' best day, and we're only 3 points in. They are trusting those players to go out and ride while they're hot. If and when somebody stops being hot, they just move to the next person who is. That kind of momentum is really hard to argue with.
Yeah, definitely got to spam it in the chat right now. Let Lucas cook right now for William and Mary. He is just on fire. 3-1 in this game. Just let him cook, let him be him. And let's see if that continues to add on here for the Merryman.
Rip the brakes out of his car. He's all gas right now. I think that we're seeing a little bit of a diminishment in the wind. After all, Atakale, these poles are sailing a lot farther than our earlier Vermont-Ohio State game.
Yeah, they were barely getting past midfield towards that second half. Good to see that the winds died down and let these players play to their full ability. And working down the line, some contact there towards midfield. Let's see what the decision make.
Well, they're just having a nice day together, enjoying the clouds. Sideline likes what they're seeing. Audience loves what they're seeing. That's what it's all about. Play it for the fans.
So Slayton here with the disc will remain with the disc.
One thing that Reed Bacon also told us that we should look out for Texas is full of names that we recognize for being people who fill the stat sheet up. Recently, though, he let us know that they've been playing arguably a more conservative brand of offense. As we see another deep look faked off. He wants Chambers, he wants Radak, he wants Jake Sames to have a big impact in this game, but arguably the level of intelligence that those players have, they're not willing to take risks, and it's something that can help or hinder them. We'll see how that plays out over the course of this game.
And you can see that right now. They're being patient. They're methodically working it down the field. They've had a couple deep cuts go off, but not electing to send it. And now finally looking for that shot as they have two in the back of the end zone, as Slayton once again is a producer of a goal there for Tough. 3-2 is your score.
What beautiful footwork there from Zach Slayton. Recognizes that he's up against that back. What a throw. Maybe needed like 2% off of it, but the presence of mind, get that front foot down so you can start dragging that back foot and still secure the catch. That's textbook footwork from Zach Slayton.
You know what that's called in Texas, Charlie?
You're going to tell me?
Texas toe drag swag, baby. That is what you call it there for Slayton. Just absolutely putting on a clinic, putting on a show. 2 goals in this one so far, showing off the toe drag swag there in the end zone.
College coaches, if you're trying to teach your young players how to find that back line, you can pull this clip for the rest of time, baby. So we're staring here at a 3-2 score. William and Mary receiving with the chance to go up 4-2. They're going to be moving from right to left if you're just tuning in with us. It's 3-2 out of Kale. It feels like a whole lot more than that.
Yeah, it feels like we've been here, for a whole first half in this one. I mean, early on, it's just been back and forth. William and Mary coming out early and coming in hot. We talked about earlier, everyone always has a game plan until you get punched in the mouth. And, William and Mary threw out the first punch, and now Texas is battling back in this one, and they're trying to react.
Something for us to watch out for. This Texas roster is not very deep, and it's because they're rather small. William and Mary, on the other hand, have a pretty fleshed out sideline, but are leaning pretty top heavy right now. Which team do you think is going to be the first to break over the course of a game? If it stays close, we're going to play a lot of points. Do you think the advantage goes to Texas with the smaller roster? William and Mary more top heavy.
As you see, Reichart send one deep, and that one is completed once again. This kid, what can he not do here for the Merrymen, as that one is punched in there by Clay Little.
Let me retract my question. It might not matter.
Yeah, if you're going to continue to let Lucas cook here for the Merrymen, I mean, he has had an absolute green light.
And I want to correct a pronunciation. That is Clay Littell.
Once again, Clay Littell there with the score.
Otakale, this is complete and utter flavor. How do you feel about visors?
In the game of Ultimate?
Yeah.
Never really been a big headgear fan in the game of Ultimate, to be honest with you. I think every player's got a right to their own swag, while they're playing, of course. But never been a big headgear guy.
Can't say that I am either. I've just been noticing how in vogue they are right now. As we saw Clay Littell rocking his on that goal. It was the only thing I could think about is why are visors so popular? If you know why visors are popular, put it in the chat. Discuss amongst yourselves.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, too. And for instance, for myself, I've never been that fast, so I'm not going to say that I run out of my hat. But for a lot of people, they're moving pretty fast. The hat never stays on.
Absolutely. We saw that earlier from one of the Texas players. All right, so we're going to get William and Mary pulling from left to right.
So 4-2 in this one. If you're just tuning in, the Merrymen of William and Mary up over Texas Tough. Matchup defense currently are the Merrymen.
These marks and first 10-second defensive sets from William and Mary are really frustrating Tough. They are working through the third, fourth, fifth progressions in their offense before they're even starting to swing the disc. I have to imagine that's frustrating them. Conservative is fine, but when you're straight up not getting the looks that you want, it starts to take a toll on your, biggest disc-heavy players.
And there you see a flick in there for the score as that one is put in. Looks like that is Barcio there with the score there for Tough. I was just about to say, it looked like the mark initially there from William and Mary. They're going to start off flat and then continue to rotate towards that forced backhand side. But right there, you see it opened up for the flick side, and that was a break.
Absolutely. Another brilliant throw from Chambers. Sorry, that's from Jake Radak, number 5. Putting that right out to space, plenty of time for the receiver to run onto it. I'm very curious to see if William and Mary will continue approaching with that flat mark. It's working right now. There's certainly no reason to move away from it. Texas is certainly not getting the deep looks that they want. I think that there's room for them to attack those unders a little bit more furiously, or as soon as they see those marks, just start swinging the disc. If you know that that flat mark's coming, swing the disc back and forth, get that defense on its heels, and then strike down fast and furious before they can get fully into their set.
It's a great point. So we're close in this one. 4-3 is your score. See if Texas can get another break.
Slowly but surely, Texas is ramping up this defensive pressure. We're starting to see some of those bids come a little bit more frequently. We may be looking at a clock counting down as to when that first layout block finally comes.
See Chris Casella moving into the fray in the little junky zone look.
They're really pressuring. We see Gavin Babbitt, a player that the coaching staff from Tough expect to have a big impact, shadowing Lucas Reichert. That's definitely an adjustment that they've started making. We want one of our stronger players to shut that matchup down. We're tired of the effect that this man's having on the game.
Littell not able to kind of run that one down, just running out of real estate. Now an opportunity here for Tough.
And that throw was never in bounds. For those of you newer to Frisbee, when a throw is thrown, it's perfectly fine for it to initially travel outside of the field. It does have to come back in bounds, though, in order for the disc to be played at a farther spot down the field. If it never does, it gets to go back to the point where it initially left the field of play.
See Chris Casella there with the disc, able to dump it off, gets it back. The Richmond product, 4-year Richmond player, now on this Texas Tough squad as a grad student.
John Clyde patiently waiting for a look he likes.
Having some trouble here, needing an outlet. Now setting it up, putting it up. It's floating in the area, but able to be secured and brought down. There's Slayton once again with the score.
And there's the break that Tough needed. They finally get a turnover, out of the Merry Men. They're able to work it patiently, handler set until they finally get a look that they like. We see the wind play a little bit of a role, makes that a 50-50 catch opportunity. Slayton brings it down.
You see Slayton there, the little celly to 3 to the dome, a la Carmelo Anthony, getting his 3rd goal of the game there for Texas Tough. It ties us up at 4 apiece here in this one early on.
Looks like we're going to get a timeout here as both teams talk about what their approach is through the next portion of this first half.
So we're going to take a short breather here on the field, and we'll be back with more coverage right here on Ultiworld. Your score is 4-4 here in the 2022 College Championships.
Ultiworld's live streaming coverage of the College Championships is presented in part by AGW Ultimate, who wants to remind you to say no to Big Ultimate. You can find them at agwultimate.com.
And we're back here in the 2022 College Championships. We're tied up at 4 apiece. Texas just breaking the Merrymen of William and Mary. And this one, as you see the Tough fans going nuts there in the stands. Joined here with Charlie Leo, Matakaliande. Charlie?
They're not even that far away from us. If you take a look out the left window, our left window, Matakali, they're over there getting real hype. You got to love a hometown presence that travels just as far as you do. That can be the difference maker in tight games like this, knowing that you've got your people in your corner. you know, they came just as far as you did to support you. Sometimes that's the difference maker. Don't want to let mom and dad down when they traveled 14 hours to be here.
No, that's awesome. You got to love it. I mean, you know, fan is short for fanatic. So if you got those, you know, loyal fans coming out, not fair weather fans that just show up when you win, but they're always there for you, that's got to be such a big advantage when you're playing any kind of sport.
It's going to help them keep the energy up, too. I know that we keep coming back to energy in this game. It is what both of these teams told us was most important to them and to their success. Big sideline presences from both teams and being a willingness to keep the energy up no matter how the chips fall. As we get a look at this zone for the first time from Texas Tough.
See Lucas Reichert there with the disc.
They grow them big in Texas, Adekale. That is a lot of really frustrating long arms on the marks as we see that disc get turned over. Flustered William and Mary player not able to complete the catch.
So now prime opportunity to continue to add to that break train here for Tough. It's just being swung around. And to Slayton. It's a big around, opening up the width of the field. Now switched over. Not in for Bauer. And now back around once again, towing the line. And looks like that's going to be out of bounds.
Yeah, his foot was firmly on the line there. Again, for those of you new to Frisbee, foot on the line is not treated as inbounds. That is out of bounds. It will give us another opportunity to get a look at one of the zones that the Tough defense likes to run.
Would not be surprised here if they try to break loose with some kind of cross-field shot just to get out of the zone.
One of the defenses we know that we were going to see as far as zones are concerned from Tough is a diamond set. This time we're getting a little bit more of a cup. Hard three people around the disc forcing towards that far sideline on your screen. William and Mary able to break up the field, but that's about the only direction they can really go with this cup right now.
Yeah, they're stopping all this middle cross action through the field. You really have to sell those fakes to kind of open up the mark here if you're William and Mary. Casella almost getting his hand on the disc. Into Reichert. Thought about doing something crazy here, but he's electing to pivot back and reset his stall count.
With a slower wind, the advantage that this zone gives Texas is A, it's a little bit easier on their legs outside of the people that are in that cup. B, William and Mary has been moving so fast all game, it really forces them to slow down as we get a call in the field.
And Casella wants that D so badly, but I guess there's going to be a call here on the field. Let's see what the decision is.
I honestly need to. Can you go to you on where he was? So it's a catch. I just don't know. Uncontested strip. Debate on whether it's in or out. I think it's in. I think it's out. That's why I'm looking.
Okay, so we're just you're uncontested. You're not contesting the strip call. You're just wondering where they are. Okay, so it's an uncontested strip call. It's just whether or not he would have been in the end zone.
His foot was in the end zone.
So it is a goal. Okay.
Goal. It's quick arbitration there from both sides. Listening to it, a good spirited discussion, and Casella, yeah, he's admitted, hey, yep, it was a strip. I just didn't agree that it was in the end zone or not. And once again, let Lucas cook. He's still moving here for William and Mary.
Lucas Reichert in the end zone for the Mary men's goal.
So here we see the drop first from William and Mary, and then we get the strip call that will lead us to the goal. Reichert throws it back to Lee, moves it up to Reichert. We get that strip call. Really, really happy with the resolution on that call from I think it was the right call to make. As a person who enjoys spicy ultimate, can't say that I like the 180 that we took from the discussion about the internet call earlier, but I think that that's better for the overall tone of this game, for getting to watch quality ultimate. That's just me as a fan of the pettiness.
Yeah, I mean, that one just handled very quickly, very calmly, and I think that's the kind of tone everyone should kind of take here in this game. Everyone loves a good physical matchup, of course, but when decisions don't hold up the whole game, and we're over here listening to just back and forth, and just a clean, very decisive call, and then play happens, nothing better than that.
Absolutely. Texas carries a little bit of a reputation in the ultimate scene, especially after Fall Nationals. There was that infamous play, Jake Sames involved with tripping a dark side player. They know that they have a reputation that they have to clean up. Really glad to see them making that effort right now, trying to play the game with sportspersonship and spirit at the center of it. But that's a big, almost dangerous play from William and Mary.
Yeah, now Tough working it through this Merryman zone defensive look on the doorstep of the end zone, and that will be a score there for Jake Radak. So we're on serve now, 5 apiece in this one.
So
William and Mary came out. They did what you want to see from low seeds at these tournaments, and they punched first, and they punched really hard. Lucas Reichert filling up that stat sheet. Texas Tough, very, very self-focused. The thing they know that they can do is control themselves, control the game of Ultimate that they play. So they've taken advantage of the game moving a little bit slower, used that to start generating some clean offense, force some new offensive looks from William and Mary with their zone. This game is right back where they want it to be, nice and comfortable as we're tied at 5s.
So 5 apiece in this one. So far, is this what you expected in this one?
Now, yes. Earlier, no. That easy. I had high hopes for a good game, and this is checking that box out nicely. I knew nothing about William and Mary. They lived up to that Faceless Army tag they created for themselves. I was pretty shocked. Now I'm just excited to see what they can do with the remaining 60 minutes of Ultimate they have.
Nice around there, the Reichert.
Langston Lee with a gorgeous break around. His mark might as well walk off the field.
And Greenberg back to Reichert. Reichert falling down, puts it up, and that one is secured.
Yeah, that's a big air from Aiden O'Connell. Gets way up to keep possession alive.
Now into Lee. And you just have a feeling a shot's about to come up here for Merryman, but they're right here on the doorstep, about 5 yards out.
I think faking Lee off there is absolutely the right move. The defender from Texas fully in position to make a bid, and that's a much better look anyway.
And there's the score as they take the lead back in this one, 6-5, courtesy there of Aiden O'Connell.
Flashed and showed us what he could do with that skying grab. Delivers on the promise with the goal in the end zone. Aiden O'Connell making his presence felt on the field for this Merrymen team.
Yeah, he's done a top-notch job so far of helping put the Merrymen up in this one, 6-5.
A little more flavor for you, Atakale. How do you feel about the jerseys these two teams are wearing?
So, never been a fan of, as you see the adorable dog on your screen. Hope that increases your serotonin there. Just happy thoughts in that one. But if you're looking at the Texas Tough jerseys currently on your screen, never been a big fan of sleeveless jerseys, to be honest with you. Think of more summer league.
I agree.
But they look clean, very clean design. I'm looking at them right now. And then for the William and Mary jerseys here in this one, it's the idea is there. For me, it's just the font on it. As an announcer, I've always been, jerseys just have to be legible. Font and either names, one of the two, so I can call you out on a stream or broadcast.
Absolutely.
Give kudos to you.
Yeah, I think same thing. I thought the idea was there, the execution's getting closer. I think as we see this team at Nationals more, they'll get better. You heard big cheers for William and Mary coming from their women's team, their big sideline right now. I think that's going to be a huge factor for them going forward. If the energy is not coming just from their own sideline, but from the stands, that's something they can lean on when they need to.
Radak there with the disc.
Frustrated with the looks he was not getting.
Now over to Barcio. Back to Radak. Good swing over in the middle to Chambers.
Matt Chambers taking the time to run that disc out is wonderful. Gave him a whole bunch of time to evaluate what was ahead of him. Knew he could secure the disc. Kept the offense going clean.
Very active mark here for the Merrymen. Giving tough fits. The disc up in the air. Tipped off to himself. and falling down in the fray, dumps it off for the assist, and yes, that will stand as a goal. 6 apiece here in this one.
You know how in Zombieland they have Zombie Kill of the Week? That might be my vote for assist to goal of the day. That was a phenomenally wild sequence.
Yeah, just watch it. Just a tipped pass there by Layden. Takes his 2 steps and dumps it off right there. Barcio in the end zone. Kind of a little disbelief. Hey, if it works, not how we drew it up, but if it works, it works.
You know what? A goal is a goal at the end of the day, and William and Mary might disagree with that one, but I think all the rules were followed. I can't find anything wrong with it. Gonna let that one stand.
And it's almost one of those things where even if Layden caught it and then stood up, it's probably better for him to just throw it while he was in his momentum. You know, you saw the open Barcio there in the end zone. Instead of stopping your momentum, standing back up and cutting out of the end zone and dumping it off, giving the defense a chance to recover.
Right thing to do for the goal, right thing to do for the fans. Maybe not the world's most quote-unquote spirited thing, but that's totally fine. I like it. I'm going to stick with it.
Hey, and it's got them tied up in this ballgame. Yeah, why not lay it all on the line there for your squad?
Looking at Six's huge pull going slightly downwind. That may be the best pull I've seen today.
Beautiful hang time.
And they're down in their defense. That's what they want.
Now trying to work it back around into Riker.
So this vertical stack from William and Mary, operating much like the traditional vertical stack that you know and love, but a lot of emphasis. Oh my goodness gracious, that's a hustle play.
See the backdoor catch, and then Lee with the punctuation there for the score. But once again, I will say it here for everyone watching this, let Lucas cook here in this one, but they're going to call a travel.
And they're trying to turn the gas off.
That's just a hard call, especially.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Let's take a listen at this one.
Either the disc is going to go back or you're going to have the disc on the goal line. So we'll wait to see what happens there. It's a travel. It's going back. Send the disc. Now back to the time of the throw as best you can.
Everybody's coming back.
It was a travel.
I'm going to be honest, Adekale, I do not like that travel call.
Yeah, it's always just a tough decision, you know. You're on the mark. Unless someone egregiously travels, I'm never, as a player, I'm never looking at someone's feet. You know, that kind of thing. I'm playing my offensive players' eyes, their hands, never looking at their feet. So that travel is always something that takes the air out of your sail, especially on a big huck like that.
It's also one of those calls that, goodness gracious, that man has a family.
Just absolutely roofed there on that grab. What a snag there by Littell. Now this one put back up.
William and Mary back on the attack. They feel that that goal was deserved, and they are attacking like it.
Now working the disc around. Lee. Very active mark. Now pushing the Merrymen back. They're going to take some yardage back on a swing.
That was the highest stall that we've seen on this point. William and Mary is blistering with their pace right now.
You see great defense there by Palchura, really making sure Lucas Reichert is out of the play completely. Now up the line, laying out for it. Will secure it now into the end zone. Discs don't lie there for William and Mary as they punch it in.
Looks so good they had to do it twice. Langston Lee is a machine for them right now. That young man is on fire.
That's a huge score there for William and Mary, 7-6. So we're going to take a second look here at the travel that was called on Reichert. You see, this is a tough decision. Looked like his foot just dragged, but the disc was well released. And Lee up the line, laying out, picture perfect snag, and punching it in the end zone.
The sun's coming out and smiling on the Merrymen as they're able to complete that one for 7-6. We'll get a good look at what their approach is as they try to put out a line that's going to secure them the halftime break to go up 8-6.
See, timeout was called there. What do you think Texas, I guess they're out of their huddle now, but what do you think Texas is probably talking about here on their O-line?
Texas's O-line is going to be focused on themselves and themselves alone. They know that there are things that they can't control, observer calls, the big plays coming from William and Mary, sometimes players just make plays. Those are uncontrollables. Those are things they have no effect over. They are going to recenter. They're going to say, hey, we're Texas tough. We have our brand of ultimate. We're going to go out and just do us. Probably going to hear it to a huge bing bong call. Again, whenever they've got that negative energy that may be channeled towards the other team, towards the observers, they redirect it back to themselves. Huge bing bong comes out, and they're right back to business. Looks like they're cool and collected down on that offensive line, getting ready to receive this pull. William and Mary, though, army crawling down on the field. It's a little bit bizarre. Gotta say, as far as sideline activity goes, pretty big fan of what's going on right now.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they're trying to do a little snake in the grass. They got their white jerseys on. I'm not sure they're going to blend that well there with that green turf, but they'll try their best luck at it. Well, it might be a little bit offsides if that was the case, if they were on the field.
I think so. Texas Tough's going to be moving from the left to the right on your screens for those of you watching at home. Little junk look from William and Mary, again, trying to stop that pull play.
Now working the disc there on the far sideline.
Jake Radak swarmed in the deep space, nowhere to go, 2 defenders blanketing him.
Having really some trouble, finally able to get it past midfield.
Barcio came all the way from the bottom of the screen, huge banana cut around back to the top, churning all kinds of yardage. Absolutely the outlet they need him to be right now.
See Chambers with the disc, a nice inside throw. Dump off. See Radak looking for options.
I like that a lot. Little high release to the inside. Stop that cut from going all the way back. Keep churning upfield.
See a pick call down the field. Radak with the disc.
For those of you at home, a pick call is when the guarding space, which is 10 feet from the defender to the offender, is interrupted by any other player on the field. Often impacts a defender's ability to appropriately guard their offender.
See Sames.
Cool.
Radak, a little dump off, but a beautiful layout. Looks like maybe a contact, a foul call on the field.
Can tell this is a high pressure point as we're getting a little bit more of these calls going in. Spacing not looking quite as good as Tough would like it to be.
See Radak back on the disc. Up ahead. Nice backhand right on the front of the end zone. And now that one will count there for Texas. Is punching in there is Cade White with the score, 7 apiece.
Cade White is the top score. We're all tied up at 7.
So we show you a replay, a second look at this one. Radak dumping it off. And Sames just right in the front of the end zone. A quick little cut there from Cade White to tie us up at 7 apiece.
So, tied at 7s. It's really important for both of these teams to take half here. Do you think that we're going to see more stacked lines? Do you think we're going to see a standard D-line from Texas, a standard O-line from William & Mary?
I'm hoping to see a lot of crossover here. Your kill lines, so to say, on both sides, to be honest with you. That's such a big momentum difference maker in this one. If you can get that 8th goal to take us into half and have the lead at half, then kind of amp up your team there at halftime saying, hey, we closed out that first half with our best ultimate. Now let's carry that on to the second half.
Fully agree. And as we're looking down at the field on this O-line for William and Mary, a lot of the usual suspects. We see Langston Lee. We see Lucas Riker out there continuing to have a big impact for that team. Tough, again, leaning on that talented top end of a not very deep roster.
Over to Lee, able to center it. Now over to O'Connell.
Lucas Riker, notably not in the backfield to start this point, but not for long as he catches that big under.
Now working it a little past midfield. Reichert wanted that disc on the up line.
I think there it is. That's the big play that we knew Tough was waiting to pull out. They finally get it lined up the way that they like. Huge bid. They get it possession. A chance to take a very important half here.
As that was Cade White there with that huge layout block. Got the last goal there for Tough to tie us up.
We're seeing William and Mary worry about that deep shot going up from Tough. They're sitting a last back defender, you know, somebody who's going to make sure they're always available to help off and stop that throw from going. If Tough is able to capitalize on that by attacking the underspace, I think that they're going to see a lot of success, not just on this point, but in the rest of the game.
Very heads-up play there from the observer to just get out of the way, as that was a very blatant OI flick. Not able to kind of toe the line there, just ran out of room.
We like active observers here. It's fun to get them involved in the action.
See Langston Lee picking up there for William and Mary. See if they have some kind of set play. Disc up ahead to O'Connell. Back to Lee. Into Riker, who's had the hot hand in this first half.
We saw a little bit of a modification to the mark as we get a call in the field from Reichert and his defender.
Looks like a travel was called.
Oh, yeah, I think I was just trying to back up. But okay.
What do we have a call?
What I call it disc space. I think he was setting up too close to me and it caused me to travel.
Okay, so it's still going to
You
be.
can resolve this with both? Okay, I'll
Yeah.
drop 2 and take 4 instead of 6. Okay. And
Okay.
You can hold your pivot. Coming back to me.
Okay, so we have a travel and disc space. We're coming in on 2? On 4.
This is going back to Reichert. Coming on forward.
So Colby Bauer and Lucas Reichert able to get that resolved there out of Kale.
You see the disc back to Reichert. And that D in the space there by Slayton.
I don't love the contact there. I don't think I saw enough to worry about dangerous play, but that was, I think, a little bit of extracurricular activity.
Now looking to step through his Bauer. Back with Slayton. Disc up in the area, a good swing around.
It's a very good swing throw. Put it out and around the defender where your offender gets a chance to box out, put their body in the way, and secure that grab.
Barcio up and ahead in the area. Who wants it? And coming back door there with a big time block. There was Clay Littell.
Yeah, read that all the way. Came off his own mark to help out, secure the D there for the Merry Men. Then get another look at this O point.
See Lee back with the disc. Now immediately shot deep. This one blading and maybe a little bit of a punt there. And let's go play defense there for William and Mary.
Looked like a miscommunication. Lucas Reichert had space that he could go to. Get the timeout call out of Texas. Looks like a quick conversation about what the stall was going to be, probably one. Lucas Reichert definitely had room to attack. I think that he was probably just a little bit gassed. This point's been long.
It has been a long point in this one. I mean, that's why I keep saying who wants it more in this. Like, I think it's so crucial in this game, especially in Ultimate with points like this when they come down to that one decisive play that makes it it's such a big difference for you, like taking half. Something you might overlook at the end of this game is that who came down with this 8th point and took half.
Yeah, very much. It's a great place to be in. Winning the half, sometimes that's the difference. You know, if it's a trade points the rest of the way game, as we get a quick look at the stats, we're tied at 7s during this timeout. You know, clean holds, Texas able to punch more of those in. William and Mary, a little bit more work for themselves as they, you know, continue getting this work done. Break chance is pretty even across the board, though. Both teams with a couple breaks to their name, hence being tied at 7s.
Yeah, this is another, it's kind of crazy, second Texas game ever. Another clean game for them. Last time I watched Texas play was against Georgia, and they only had five turns in that whole game against Georgia in the Fall Nationals.
I got a chance to talk to Stephen Najee. He's the head coach of the Austin Soul. Has a lot of these players on his roster in the AUDL. He said one of the, you know, as far as team attitudes go, Texas has one of the best for any team in this tournament. They're not here to take anything from 2nd to 20th. They're here to finish the weekend with gold around their necks. They want to win, and they have the top-end talent to get it done. We're seeing that. That's where all these clean holds are coming from.
Texas going across midfield. Radak there with the disc. Now put up into the end zone.
Colby Bauer, what a throw.
And Slayton will capitalize. And Texas Tough taking the half 8-7 here over William and Mary in this one. And Charlie, that's going to come back and you're going to think, oh, wow, that was huge. A lot of opportunities both ways.
Yeah, I think when once we have the resolution to this game, that will be a pivotal moment. Texas taking the time out, recentering, taking a little bit of self-care time to say, hey, we don't have to do anything except play tough ultimate for 50 yards. It works. They put in a clean offensive possession right there. They lead a half.
So Texas up 8-7 here over William and Mary. We'll be back shortly with more coverage and second half action here on UltiWorld.
There is a place where we are us at our best.
A place where everyone is welcome.
Regardless of age, shape, skin color, or anything else that tries to box people in.
A place where we defy the odds, defy the naysayers,
and even defy gravity.
A place where it's accepted that success
doesn't belong to the faint-hearted. It belongs to the brave, to the determined.
A place that knows grit, knows grace, knows bright lights, and knows empty bleachers.
a place where we remember to laugh,
where we learn to trust,
learn to high-five strangers,
and eventually even learn to fly.
a place where character, community, and competition
are all as balanced as a disc in flight.
That place isn't in a stadium or on a field.
That place is in the spirit of our players.
Because we don't just play Ultimate, we live Ultimate.
Welcome back here to the 2022 College Championships. Texas Tough up 8-7 here over William and Mary. We're going to send it down the sideline for a halftime interview there with Pat Stegemiller as he's going to interview Reed Bacon there, one of the coaches for Texas Tough.
Hi, I'm Patrick Stegemiller with UltiWorld, and I'm here with Texas coach Reed Bacon. Reed, exciting first half. William and Mary came out with some really fearless play. Were you expecting that from them?
No, it's an energy battle, right? It's going to be back and forth all game, I think. They got a lot of energy, a lot of excitement over there, so we're trying to match it, and we'll see what we can do in the second half, yeah.
They're quick on the trigger with Hux. Is there any adjustments you're going to try to make in the second half to limit that?
Yeah, we're trying to let everyone know when number 4 has the disc. We got a shooter call, so we're going to get that going. Maybe a little bit straight up Mark 2, yeah, make it a little hard. They haven't really connected on a lot of them, I don't think, so we'll see what we got, yeah.
And to call travels on him also, because I saw you started doing that in the second half. So looking at your own offense, a little bit of a rocky start in the first 2 points, but picked it back up much cleaner for the rest of the first half. What did you say, or what was the message that was given to the O-line to straighten them out?
Yeah, just doing too much, I think, right? There was one, strike to the back corner of the end zone from the back left side, and there's not enough space for that, right? So if we can just get our dump swings going and attack that space kind of more organically, I think we'll have much more success there, so.
All right, thanks, Reed. Good luck in the second half. Back to you.
Well, thanks, Pat. And this one has been an amazing contest so far. Texas Tough up 8-7 here over the William Mary Merrymen, and we'll be back shortly with more coverage and second half action right here on UltiWorld.
Spin Ultimate, custom team uniforms and branded apparel since 2007. Fresh designs to make your ultimate spirit shine.
And a great one-handed snag. Big forehand all the way downfield.
Deep shot from Chesler. We've seen this before. And a beautiful throw.
The big layout block.
Monstrous layout block. Layout block from Balsaraj. Not enough to avoid Michael Ing, a layout block. Ing streaking to the end zone. The shot from McNamara. Ing with an incredible catch.
And that is an absolute dime.
Into the end zone for an emphatic layout. Tatum towing the back line. And they do looking deep for Cook. It's going to be him versus Feiner. And Feiner wins that battle. Big winding throw from Besser. Then a high release forehand by Chuck. And Brunker sends it. Tatum runs it out. Colorado is going to the semifinals.
And welcome back here to the 2022 College Championships. Game number 4 here on the day. Texas Tough up 8-7 over the William and Mary men in this one. Joined here by Charlie Lowe. I'm Ada Kaliane. Charlie, in this one, right now, what has been the difference maker here in this one that's put Texas up 8-7?
Texas plays Texas Ultimate, and Texas plays Texas Ultimate regardless of what their opponent is doing. They centered themselves. They said, we have a strong team identity, and we are going to commit to that. Worth noting, they're doing that without one of their biggest Spirit guys, Mike Stinger, who is their Spirit nominee for this weekend, not available until tomorrow. So they've weathered the storm of this Merrymen team all on their own merit, not leaning on that Spirit captain to guide the ship for them, and they've been doing a not even just adequate, phenomenal job.
Yeah, and then for the William and Merrymen, as we show you the forecast currently right now, and 59 degrees, 68% humidity, only an 11-mile-per-hour wind so far in this one. It's been, should I say, pretty good weather, I would say, for an ultimate tournament in this one.
Definitely comfortable enough for Texas to bust out those sleeveless jerseys. That's for sure.
That's a good point. And then for William and Mary, you know, I said it in the first half, and I think it's going to continue to be a theme in this one, is, you know, let Lucas cook. Lucas Reichert, number 4, William and Mary. We talked about earlier, you know, they're a faceless team, but he really put on for William and Mary there in that first half, and it's just been so hard to cover. I mean, the reason Texas has stopped him in the last couple of points have been travel calls.
Yeah, it takes a travel call to stop a village. Lucas Reichert, all gas, no brakes for this entire game. That's their plan for him the entire tournament. Texas has done it on the back of a couple questionable travel calls and using their length finally to frustrate the Merrymen offense. kind of mirroring what William and Mary did to them, getting big and flat on those marks, stopping some of those big deep looks.
Yeah, and if I'm Texas right now, they're in that halftime talk on the clipboard. Things we need to do, just stop number 4. We've got to shut him down in the second half, and this is our game.
We see it immediately. Big cup, a lot of long-armed gentlemen in that cup trying to trap on that sideline and trying to stop them from feeding the disc to their best players. Take away those deep looks, too.
Back to Riker here with the disc.
I think it's honestly part of the reason the strategy is so good is that it forces Riker to be in a small ball capacity. He's not able to stop and look downfield for Clay Littell, for Aiden O'Connell, some of those players that he's been feeding to otherwise.
Back up ahead to Riker.
Bryce Whitney frustrated as the deep picks him up, not able to get the open look he wants. William and Mary still grinding in the middle of that cup.
Nice slicing throw there by Reichert. Up ahead to Lee. Sells the backhand fake. Finds Reichert once again. Now in the front of the end zone there.
And
that's a dangerous play on the fake. Let's hope both players are okay.
An auspicious leap from O'Connell into a huge collision. Langston Lee and the down to Texas player. Looks like it may be Matt Chambers.
I think it's Colby Bauer down there for Texas.
You're correct. Colby Bauer takes huge contact. Cool. He's up. Ginger on that ankle. Coach Reed Bacon helping him off the field. Going to get another look at this. Yeah, so it looks like that ankle tweaked inward just a little bit in the midst of the contact there. That's not something that you want to see. I understand the angle that Langston Lee wanted to take.
Kind of ended up on top of him, so I'd put you both in the same general spot.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Are we good? We're coming in on 2?
O'Connell sold the fake, but Langston Lee looked like he was in a cut up line, and Bauer just stepped in the space and rolled his ankle. They both collided. It's a bang-bang play.
Yeah, in basketball, that's a really good charge. In Frisbee, that's just an unfortunate injury that's happened.
So Reichert now needing an outlet. O'Connell back to Riker. A little 2-person game, give and go. Up ahead to Lee. Now inside, scooping it off the turf. That will count as a goal. There is number 13, Bryce Whitney. 8 apiece right here in the second half to start us off.
I really like that. Immediately attack all the way back across the field. You're in that trap sideline. You want to open up more space for yourself. Just swing. If I'm head coaching the Merry Men, the modification that I make to open up even more space on some of those looks, these swings that we're getting around these long Texas marks are accomplishing the goal of moving the disc back towards the center of the field, but they're a little bit sharper, towards the backfield. So they're losing a lot more yardage than maybe they need to. Their throwers are having no trouble getting around the marks. You can carry some of those throws out longer, especially since you're not, you're winning the foot race, and give yourself a little bit more real estate and some more, upfield space to look at instead of continuing to hemorrhage yardage on your way back down the field.
It's a good point, Charlie, in that one. I mean, hey, All-American Rejects said it the best. Swing there on the disc. You just got to move it. You got to create that space there in the field of play, and really use all quarters of the field in this one. And so far, we've seen both teams be able to do that. That's why we're tied up at 8 apiece.
Low pull, skips up, caught by Texas. I really like that. Just as a cool thing that has happened.
Now into the middle.
That tough player got free of everybody. What space he had in the middle of the field there.
So Barcio here with the disc.
It's the kind of open that makes you wonder if that was actually something William and Mary meant to give up.
Chambers, a high release backhand to Radak, and Radak shoots deep, trying to toe it, and he will get there. A little Texas 2-step in the corner for the score, 9-8 Texas. So that one will stand there for Jake Worthington.
So I'm going to call out Reed Bacon, who told me and told you ahead of this game we were not going to see Jake Worthington on the field for this game. He has made fools of both of us. What a grab. What presence of mind. That's an NFL-ready catch from Jake Worthington.
Yeah, he's Sunday ready, primetime ready. There's Worthington. A little two-step there in the corner, and it's just pretty footwork. I said this earlier there on the broadcast in game one. Slow feet don't eat, and for that instance right there, Worthington had some quick feet, been able to read the disc and get back, chop his feet, and know where the line is, and just lay out full extension using all probably over 6'1", 6'2" of his frame to secure that disc.
We weren't supposed to get eyes on Jake Worthington until tomorrow. Had an injury that was hampering him. Texas did not want to risk further injury to him. Either he feels better, he feels good, or felt that the moment was too big for him to not get his hands dirty. Regardless, a big play that Texas needed, that puts them ahead 9-8 and a otherwise difficult point. Let's see if that's the spark that they need to continue beating this William & Mary team.
See, inside there with the snag is Michael Yee, now sent up immediately into space, and that one is caught for the end zone, and a score there for William & Mary. We're knotted back up at 9 apiece.
Another big goal for Clay Littell as we see the big celebration. What a throw that came out of the hands of, I believe that was Ben Greenberg, reeled in by Clay Littell. He's been filling up the stat sheet as well. We see the flags on the sideline from William & Mary. Those are, for lack of a better word, amazing. Those are some very cool flags.
Yeah, very good, spirited sideline. And, hey, that's the point we talked about earlier in this one. Hey, at the end of the day, it's not going to be a question who won the sideline battle. It's going to be William & Mary. So a great deep put there by Ben Greenberg. And he's with the disc currently, looking to pull for William & Mary.
All right, tied back up at 9s. We're in that moment. The teams are kind of feeling each other back out again. They've established what they want to do. They've established that they can do it. Now it's a matter of who's going to be the first team to stop the other team from executing. Both teams are in their rhythm. Even with turns here and there, it's hard to knock a team out of their rhythm. I think the team that has success over the course of the rest of this game is the team that successfully knocks the other team off of their game plan.
See Radak there with the disc. Now inside to Barcio, back to Radak. Trying to break free of his mark.
Ooh, a lot of pressure there from William & Mary. They're ramping it up, trying to get these throws really contested as they leave the hands of these tough throwers.
Now back around to Radak, up the line, and looks like that one just slipped out of his hands. No call. It's going to be William & Mary.
No call, but a long look in the mirror back at the hotel.
Greenberg. Merriman looking to carve up some yardage. Back around.
We're seeing a little more lane clogging from these tough defenders, trying their best, even in the middle of the William & Mary flow, to frustrate that, first look.
And that's interesting. You see Jake Radak drawing the Lucas Reichert assignment defensively and able to lay out and snag that one there for William & Mary. Keep the possession alive.
Bids are coming fast and furious now from both teams. They know the moment. That's not the throw that they need. Langston Lee keeps it way too low, and Radak knocks it down. Timeout from Matt Chambers.
So another clutch, post-turn timeout there for Tough.
That's their first timeout of the second half.
And we're going to send you to break right now with the score knotted up at 9 apiece in this one make sure to stay tuned here for more action on Ultiworld.
Ultiworld's live streaming coverage of the college championships is presented in part by AGW Ultimate, who wants to remind you to say no to Big Ultimate. You can find them at agwultimate.com.
And welcome back to this one. If you're just tuning in the second half action, here are the 2022 college championships. Texas Tough tied up 9 apiece with the William and Mary men in this one. Joined here with Charlie Lowe. I'm Adekale Ande. Charlie, in this one, we're tied up. What is really going to put a team up in this game and give them advantage and perhaps win this contest?
I've said it before, I'll say it again. Stop the other team from executing. You're both in rhythm. You're both feeling yourselves. You are playing to your team identity. Now it's about balancing keeping your identity alive and taking the other teams away from them. We've seen a lot of William and Mary leaning on Lucas Reichert. Shut him down. That may be the key to opening this wide open for Texas Tough.
There you see Sam Brothers on the mark. Doing an excellent job of shadowing.
Sam Brothers is one of the players that you're going to really see have a huge impact on defense over the rest of this game. He is one of their generals for William and Mary on their defensive line. Short, powerful, ready to make a big play at a moment's notice.
Now up the line in the space, and that one is secured there by Jake Radak. And that breaks our tie, gives Texas the lead 10-9.
One of the more common things that we're seeing as we hear the yes cheer ring out from William and Mary, that's gotten a lot of popularity in the last several years. The really easy way for the team that gets scored on to say, hey, it's still about us. Yes, we're playing Frisbee. Yes, we're feeling ourselves. Yes, we're going to go get no point. Saw a lot of that from Oklahoma Christian, new double reigning D3 champions as we watched them last weekend. Seeing it now from William and Mary. I really like it. Keep that energy up. Keep it going into your sideline when you get scored on. There's no reason to walk off with your heads hung low. Keep it breezy.
Yeah, that's a good point in this one. Like I said, if you keep the energy up in this one, you know, small mistakes, you got to move on to the next play. I think that's very crucial here for both of these sides. And Jake Radak trying to will his team on in this one and keep the energy up here for both teams and for Texas Tough. So they're up 10-9. And Radak filling up the stat sheet right now. 2 goals, 3 assists, 2 blocks. Just been a phenomenal player there for Tough.
High touch player. High touch players are going to get high touch stats. You could argue that regardless of how full the stat sheet is, his impact is felt in just how much he keeps this offense moving for Texas Tough. There is no point that goes by without his fingers on it.
You see the disc swung over there to O'Connell. Moving the disc around back outside to Reichert. Now to Littell. Back around. Great movement here from William and Mary.
Ooh, I thought that shot was going to go up from Bryce Whitney. Good holster on that, though the defender closing. Colby Bauer back on the field. Good to see him there.
We're good. In on 4. Tap to the ground.
So coming in on 4. Into Reichert, number 4. And puts it up and somehow, some way, squeezing its way through a stack of players. That is a score there for Mark Edwards. And we're tied up at 10 apiece.
Mark Edwards' first goal. Mark Edwards' first goal of the day as we get this beautiful angle. Reichert straight through the lane. Edwards looks like he's going to line up a bid, realizes, oh, this is a perfect throw. I don't have to do anything but trot onto it. First goal for him on the day. First player I've ever seen score wearing the number 62.
Yeah, I can't say I've seen many 62s in the game of Ultimate. Now, definitely type there in the chat if you're number 62.
Adekale, I'm number 62.
There you go in that one. As we're tied up at 10 apiece.
I can't tell you how much I like that look from Reichert. We've seen him shoot deep. We've seen him take a lot of those high, early stall, big throws. Taking the time there to line up, hey, I've got this huge lane to put a throw through, not rushing the choice and saying, I'm going to put a nice flat flick. There's going to be just the right amount of touch. My receiver that I've got in the back of the stack can just trot onto it. That's perfect. That's the kind of throw you want from your leader in that kind of a situation. Tie it up at 10s. There's no need to take a difficult shot.
Yeah, he threaded the needle there on that throw, and we're still tied up at 10 apiece in this one. This has been a great day for Ultimate, and we're even all the way through on breaks and turns, 2 apiece and breaks, and 6 turns apiece for both sides.
These teams are evenly matched. Feels weird to say that. William and Mary being the bottom seed in this pool, Texas Tough coming in, such a vaunted program, but William and Mary is truly giving them all they can handle. This top end of Texas, not quite sure what to do with this William and Mary team that runs a lot deeper than they perhaps thought. It's that faceless army at work.
Good rotation of the disc here by Tough. Radak with the disc. Being an outlet, it's going to elect to go crossfield.
Excellent hardest defense from the William and Mary defender there. No eyes on the disc at all, trusting in his team to tell him where it was moving. And what a grab. Jake Worthington out here making his presence felt. He's looking to carry Texas Tough to this victory, and he's going to do it, hurt or not.
That was a great stag, picking that one out of the sky. Keeping the possession alive, now up into the end zone for Barcio, as that will stand 11-10 Tough over the Merryman.
Texas 11, William and Mary 10.
Radak with another assist. Finds Barcio. Had another player who looked like they were getting a little greedy. Thought maybe that disc is for me. Worthington, hand down, leg splayed, hand up in the air, catches that disc. And then the easy throw completed to Barcio. Texas keeps churning away, up 11-10 on this William and Mary team.
And that's just great composure there from Worthington also. I mean, to keep the possession alive, come back to the disc, fully extend and make that play. That's big time. So 11-10 of the score. What kind of answer do you think William and Mary is trying to put on here and continue to keep the momentum, this back and forth contest?
We're seeing some of their top end players cross over occasionally. I know that we've seen otherwise a pretty standard set of D players. And it's not that we're not seeing that from Tough, but I think that we're now coming up on the time where, knowing that they need to bust it open, they may start looking for some of these shots to go up sooner, just like that. Ben Greenberg streaking deep, secures the disc. The Tough player drops off.
Greenberg looking for an outlet and able to find Lee there for the score. So we're knotted back up at 11 apiece.
Exactly. Commentator's curse or commentator's blessing. Lucas Lee gets that goal. Reichert shoots deep. That point's over fast. They can save legs a little bit for the next big D point. And what a throw. Reichert's been hitting all day. We saw him go quiet in the deep space for a little bit there, just biding his time until he got the look he liked. Ben Greenberg, an ideal receiver, tall, fast, secures the disc, has got great hands, and then just cool under pressure, delivers that to Langston Lee.
Yeah, won't get that assist there in the stat sheet there is Reichert, but a hockey assist is just as satisfying in itself as well. So tying this back up at 11 apiece. Let's see what both teams have in store for us the rest of this game as we're approaching about a little close to 12 minutes until soft cap goes off.
Little catch going on down there on the, despite it being an O-line for Texas Tough. Some conversation still happening down there for William and Mary. Got to imagine that Tough isn't pretty unbothered despite the high energy point there from William and Mary. They haven't shown that they can do anything to stop Tough's flow, and until they do, I don't blame Tough for keeping things breezy.
And that one, Charlie, how hard is it for a defense to kind of disrupt an offense, especially when they're in that flow state?
It can be pretty difficult. It's going to take either a look that this tough team has not seen yet, as we're enjoying a timeout, hence this longer conversation. They're either going to have to pull a look out of their back pocket that they have not shown to tough yet, that flusters them enough, and that's a veteran throwing core on tough, that they have not yet seen, at least today, that gives them just the opportunity they need to maybe force a block or get an errant throw out of Texas tough. I don't know if they'll be able to do it. I'm really excited. And that's not a knock against them, more just some excitement in seeing what they get creative with in their deep defensive arsenal.
Coming up next there at 4:30 p.m. Central Time is UCSB and Washington Element here at the 4:30 contest. Make sure you stay tuned right here on Ulti World for more coverage of that one coming up next.
I think it's business as usual for Tough. The rest of this game, they can just hold out and win. William and Mary, the pressure is on them to force a turn.
Love the spirit there on the sideline from William and Mary with the flags, waving them proud and strong, trying to amp up their sideline.
Not our most active audience, but I got to think that it's going the way of William and Mary, if not for anything other than their women's team, highly present in the sidelines right now.
It's Radak with the disc, moving around, back outside.
William and Mary stuff the deep look. Absolutely nothing moving downfield for Texas Tough.
But they're working down this near sideline. Worthington with the disc. Radak trying to free up. It's like the Force's backhand. Some contact.
Stalling 5.
Stalling 5.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Here we go, gentlemen. When you're ready. In on 5.
Pick call resolves nice and clean. Back into it.
Back up the line to Radak, and just it's clockwork for Texas. They're just making it look easy right now.
Jake Radak is QB1. I believe that Stephen Najee, head coach of the Soul, described him that way for that Soul team. Same thing here. The offense flows through him, by him, and he is just as willing and just as comfortable to step into that receiver space, make things happen. He's winning with his legs. He's winning with his throws. If William and Mary can't find an answer for him, that may just be it.
And this is a great time to point out, it was Texas. Texas took the half 8-7. And look, they've rode that momentum train, as you see Jake Radak just filling up the stat sheet. 3 goals, 4 assists, 2 blocks on only 1 turn. But that's been the biggest difference maker in this one. They've just rode that wave to the second half.
On only 1 turn, I think, is the most important part of that stat sheet. We've been pretty even through our turnovers between these two teams. Knowing that your best player isn't responsible for those, that he's constantly delivering a calm and collected offense while also earning you blocks is huge. Being able to lean that way on your leaders is absolutely a key to success, and it will be for any team this weekend.
So once again, will William and Mary men have an answer to Texas? You see clean holds. Texas up 9-8 on clean holds. Lee will center there to O'Connell. Swung over to Reichert.
Every single time Reichert touches the disc, we're getting shooter calls from the sidelines. They do not want him throwing anything that is not a swing or a dump pass.
Something's called down the field.
There's a pick called. What's our stall? In on 6, when you're ready.
Establish it was a pick coming in on 6.
Violation, Lucas Reichert with a quick foot there.
This centered around.
And that's some of that high defensive pressure that we're going to need to see from these teams if they really want to take a commanding lead. That was a difficult throw, barely kept alive by William and Mary.
Back to Reichert in the center.
And we're on a tear right now. 4 straight clean O points from these teams. Where you can feel the tension building on the field. You can feel it building you know, between these two teams' sidelines. Something's going to give. It's just a matter of when.
That's a good point. Is this coming in on 2, Reichert up ahead to Lee. Now back around down the line, Reichert towing the end zone, then punching it in there with the assist to Littell. We're tied back up at 12.
A quick moment of respect for the defender there on Tough. He was lining up for that bid, recognized that was going to cross him into dangerous play territory. Instead chooses to get the high pressure mark on. Maybe not what the defense wants. Absolutely the right thing to do in pursuit of safety.
Reichert, once again, another assist on the play, and Littell also has had himself a day filling out the stat sheet. So, a look there from the William and Mary supporters of sideline of the women's team.
Rather quiet down there on that fenced-in sideline. Everyone's pretty into this game. It's one of those moments where we're not quite staring at Universe Point, double game point. People are very into watching, waiting for that moment to get big, try to give their team that edge to carry them into victory. So we have only had 2 turnovers this second half. It was by Texas's O-line. They were able to earn it back each time. They look cool as cucumbers, ready to receive the disc, moving right to left.
Yeah, it's been phenomenal here in the second half, to say the least. It's just been dominant offenses. We're about 5 minutes till soft cap goes off. Look like William and Mary are in a junky zone look, but they're back to a matchup defense.
Good go-to there by Chambers. Puts his body in the way. Huge rip. That's the deep look that Tough has been waiting for. They complete it. Reed Bacon promised it, and Tough delivers. What a goal. 13-12.
Jake Sames able to secure that one, and Chambers finally letting it loose. Ripping a big shot. As Charlie just said, this is one of the few hucks we've seen all day here from Tough in this game.
We were told, rather warned perhaps, that they were willing to run their dominator set if it meant that they did it all day until they finally got the deep look that they were waiting for. Coaching staff told us, honestly, I'd like to see them faking off more deep looks because then I know the deep looks are coming. William and Mary's done an excellent job to this point of staunching those deep looks, taking them away completely. Doesn't work that time. Sames breaks free, and ready to throw it all game, Matt Chambers puts a picture-perfect huck up to him. Not a defender in sight. And that's Calvin Lynn, legendary coach of this Texas Tough program. We've talked a lot about Reed Bacon today, but this team is Calvin Lynn's one of the great, all-time great coaches in collegiate ultimate.
Looks like we'll have Clyde there to send the pull off for Tough.
John Clyde, referred to as Texas's commander, known for his big pulls, as we see right there, huge hang time. They're still in their own end zone.
See if we'll have our first break here in this second half. We're continuing to have very clean offense. So we have 6 straight clean holds, so far in the second half.
Worth noting, Sam Brothers has crossed over onto the offensive line for William and Mary. So we get, and that's the turnover. Is that the turnover that makes the difference? We get a timeout call from Zach Slayton. Have not called his name in a little bit, but absolutely the right decision to make. This is for probably the game if they're able to hold here.
That's a very crucial point in this one, and it's a smart timeout. Why not take it, set yourself up, set up a good play? What do you think Texas may look to run here? Who do you think they're going to look to isolate?
All things run through Jake Radak. I would not be surprised if he is the throw, if he's the goal or the assist on this point, or even the hockey assist. I am willing to put the house on Dominator set until they get the isolation look that they want, rather than seeing it out of the jump.
So you take a look at that turn there. It was the first turnover in 7 points played here in this second half, but just a little too low on the throw, not able to make an effort back towards the disc as both players were going for it.
A little bit of trading paint on the bids there, but I think that just the defender from Tough putting their body out there forced Lee to make a layout grab that otherwise he may not have lined up. That put them both out of position to complete the grab. The Tough defender didn't even need to catch it himself. By forcing action from William and Mary, it secured the turnover for Texas.
Zach Slayton will be with the disc, 15 yards from the end zone. Here we have Lucas Reichert on the mark. Slayton looking immediately there for Radak. Radak slipping. That was very tight. Radak directing traffic. Needs an outlet.
Finds Slayton.
It's a cut inside. Back to Radak. Now up the line there.
There it is.
For Slayton.
That's
a
it.
big time break for Texas as they take a 2-point advantage, 14-12.
What did I tell you? Jake Radak. All rivers flow through him for this Texas Tough team. Gets it done. He and Zach Slayton matching blue hats, matching energy, put that goal in. 14-12 to Tough. That's got to feel like a death knell.
Yeah, that's awesome. A great reference there, Charlie, on that one. I hope viewers at home get that one as well. That's got to just almost feel like a nail in the coffin, so to say, to William and Mary. It's a tough one, an uphill climb now. They're down 2 points, and is Texas Tough get game point there, one away from closing this one out.
William and Mary have, certainly this game is not over, but they have an opportunity now to show the rest of their pool what they're made of. Can they come out here after a demoralizing break like that, still secure a hold, and then pursue a break? We know that Texas just needs to hold out. This game is theirs. It's in their back pocket. You know, it's in the pocket, so to speak. William and Mary can still show that they're a team that has to be reckoned with right here. It's even plausible that they might still pull a win out.
Pull sent off deep into the end zone. A little stutter step there for O'Connell, and he's pinned back deep with no mark.
Gavin Babbitt churning downfield, trying to stop that first throw.
Excellently thought about shooting it deep. Now that's going to be put up immediately, but this one too short, and it's immediately intercepted. Back to Tough. An opportunity here to win this game.
Very, very smart around there to Colby Bauer. Perfectly timed that release cut for Tough. Got them out of a sticky situation.
Slayton around. There to Babbitt. Babbitt back to Slayton. See Casella working hard, trying to get the disc back.
I like that stop and wait by Gavin Babbitt there. Don't need to do anything except secure the catch. It's possession offense right now. Huge fake, though, from Casella.
Casella trying to direct traffic, needing some help. Back to Babbitt. Babbitt at an inside backhand.
I like the energy on that receiver coming under from Texas Tough. Like more the decision to fake him off. Not the right look, not the right time, because they got that one, and that's it. That's a goal for Texas Tough. Oh, spoke too soon.
Looks like a call on the field. Let's take a listen in on this one.
His throw, not mine. Okay, so we're going to keep it here.
That's number 7, Ben Greenberg.
There was an injury
going off.
on the play. He's subbing out. The disc is going to stay here. Your teammate said this disc stays here. So.
Yes.
It would come in on 1 because of the injury.
Just going back to Chris Casella.
Hey, thanks.
Casella just outside the end zone for Tough, looking to put it away.
So disc staying with Chris Casella there on the injury. Stahl will come in on 1. Texas right here in the front of the end zone. Looking to knock it in, and yes, they will. Big spike by Radak. Turn me up, Chris Casella. 15-12 Tough over the Merrymen.
Who else but Jake Radak? We saw him sub in. You had to think in that moment, yeah, it's going to him. Who else is the look to but Jake Radak?
And what a way there for Texas. They took the half and never turned back, Charlie.
Yeah, that's a team that I don't want to see if I'm the rest of this pool. They came out, they weathered the William and Mary storm, a team that you could argue overperformed, hanging 12 on a good Texas team. They would not argue that, and I would not blame them. Maybe we didn't have them properly evaluated coming into this weekend, but tough. Hang tough. That joke feels bad, but it's the right one to make. They trust their top end, they get the job done, and they break when it's most important.
Now that was huge there for Tough, as we show you the highlight reel of this game. Reichert had it going on early in that first half in this one, and just back and forth action, and then in that second half, just a bunch of clean holds.
Yeah.
A lot of offense.
A lot of offense. Defense wins the day, though. The best offense is a great defense. And Texas Tough had it when they needed it. They pulled a big play out. They secured the W. They're 2-0 on the day, looking at tomorrow.
And that is the end of this one right here. Chris Casella celebrating this Texas Tough. Take it 15-12 over the William and Mary Merrymen. We'll be back shortly here with more coverage here on Ultiworld. Stay tuned.